I don't know. Does anyone even want to know what I think about it? It's quite hard to blow that trumpet, but I'll give it a go. I'm quite happy with Arabella on the new record, lyrically. Well, all round, really. No disrespect to you guys, but I just think the words on there are all right. What else? What else has there been? Cornerstone, maybe. It's quite concise. It's quite hard to sort of review yourself like that. That's your job, Matthew. That's why we leave that to you. Yeah, it was great. We had a cracking summer. We started off the summer doing these shows in Don Valley Bowl in Sheffield. That was really a sort of special weekend for us, yeah. We have, but they've never been that good, which has been fun, yeah, like... It's too many to mention. Like, it's yeah, I guess it was sort of... It's for the first time, it's... Usually at this point in a campaign, we sort of start getting a bit bored and wanting to make another record or whatever. But that hasn't really happened yet this time. In our band's infancy, that was like sort of #1 thing. Was like, is that it? Like, but that first record was like a big deal for us. That was like really important, I think, for us, that we made that Humbug record and like went and did it in the way we did it, with who we did it. Like after that, it just seemed like anything were possible, you know. It really like gave us a boost. So this one did kind of come together pretty easy. But yeah, I think it's just one of them, more of a like insult over there. Be called, yeah, sort of think it should be called that. I think it's, yeah, I suppose it is, you know, like, or it's just a bit clearer or something. First record you ever bought? Once, actually, yeah. But that's just like such a good tune, that, isn't it? And what it? I don't know. Yeah, I was here for a night a couple of weeks ago, yeah. My girlfriend was DJing. Just came up for the night, yeah, in and out.
How was that?
Lovely. Well, we've always been big fans of his, like, ever since we started playing guitars, really, I think. And we were fortunate to meet him at festivals a couple of years ago, and we did a show together in Houston, and, you know, kind of, I suppose that's where like the relationship began. And then I think around that time we thought about asking him to go in the studio, perhaps, you know, and then we sort of like forgot about it a little bit, and then the idea was remembered to us by Lawrence Bell, our label. Yeah, he was he was aware of us. Like, I think he said some kind things in press, I think. We did summon it there, but that's actually this guy Dave Catching's studio, the place in the desert, and Josh has a place in Los Angeles, so we kind of did the most of the record between those two. Yeah, certainly, I think it did. I think that whole experience with Josh really did, you know, like, I think in order to do that in the first place, we had to approach it a little bit more openly than perhaps we had to those situations before. We were always like reluctant to let people in, like to our little group in the sort of early days, and as time's gone on, obviously, like naturally, perhaps, yeah, you know, you are more willing to like let. Not like, obviously he produced all his records before, and he's been in studios like a lot more than we have, but we you know, we weren't so sure whether he'd produced a band that he wasn't a member of, you know what I mean? So it was going to be like a different, it's kind of different process for everybody. I think almost because, like you just said, I think the band is kind of really considered a British band, I think, you know, because of that first album and the way my voice sounds, or like the accent that comes through. And so I think doing this, recording it in America and working with Josh and everything, you know, it still doesn't deviate, it doesn't take it away that much. I think that's why we did it so quickly, you know, was because we really did like rush into that second album, and like obviously we just got Nick in the band at that point, and we all really wanted to make an album together, and it's like, you know, there was a definite desire to like shed a skin at that point and like try and, you know, move on. Yeah, and you could just like, and you know, as a result of that, you did spend a lot longer on this album, and like there wasn't that kind of feeling of, you know, we'd try things and we'd have like a few weeks writing more songs, and we'd record them, whereas, you know, there wasn't like this urgency, like, I suppose. This is the first time there's a sense of like satisfaction having completed this album that I don't think we've achieved before. I think it's just like you'd always kind of quickly have niggles about the other records, whereas with this one, I don't know, it just feels, you just feel more, yeah, satisfied with it. I suppose it's like, and maybe it's because you've been playing a little bit longer and you've heard more records, and so it's you can, I suppose, yeah, like master your ideas a bit more, like making breakfasts now as opposed to playing pinball. Yeah, but I don't know, but we have, yeah, obviously, yeah, we've always done what we wanted to do, and the label's been very very good with us in that kind of department. But yeah, I don't know, more just like I'm happy with the tunes on this record. I just think like the songs are better and the sounds are better. To be honest, it still feels like the same really as it always has, like in terms of me writing. I probably do it like more now than I used to do. Like I probably write more like frequently, and I think that's just. In the beginning, I was always a bit uncomfortable with the idea of like being like a songwriter. I don't know, that like term used to give me a little shudder. Like I felt like I'd be I don't know, it reminds me of like the idea of being a songwriter used to be like freaking out, like, because I don't. Yeah, I think in terms of like that, I feel like that first album, kind of, for me anyway, like encapsulates all that stuff from that world, that you know, like, and it was tied up neatly, and like I feel like that was done then almost, you know, and then it was just after that it's just no, I mean, just like there was other things to write about. I think I remember when it like kind of discovered, when I started kind of writing in that style, I suppose, or about what was going on like in our lives at that time. And I remember a time, you know, when I had like 2 or 3 songs in that vein, and it was like, well, if we made this another, if it was 5 or 6 or 7 songs, then that's, you know, you're almost got an album, and that could completely, you know, that's just, you could put a fork in that thing. Because it by no means did that or we didn't invent that kind of approach. You know, people were doing that even at the same time as we were. And I think we probably had like joke tunes that were like, about that. Yeah, I don't know. I can't really remember, to be honest. I don't know. Yeah, it was just like, I think it's always been about like what the next thing would be for us, like next record or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's always. I don't know what the alternative would have been, like, yeah, self-destruction. Well, we were just we had made demos like pretty after about like a year of playing together. We'd like made demos, and we'd, you know, Matt, our drummer, would, you know, do a little artwork for it, and we give them away when we were playing around, and then there was a gentleman that stepped up and was kind enough to drive us out of town to play shows, like, and you know, and he got us to do another demo and stuff like that, and we'd always give the disc away or whatever at the show, and then some kids got hold of it and kind of put it on a website or a bit of MySpace or something, I think, as well. But it was really, to us, we were like just going around playing, and all it meant was the next time we went up to Newcastle or whatever, there'd be like a couple more people there than there was the last time, and they'd know some of these tunes that we would. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I've never had a MySpace. You guys on MySpace? No, I don't. I don't have fun. No. I tried to download Richard Hawley's new album the other day because there weren't a record shop around wherever we were in Denver or something, and it got 3 songs in, and then it cut me off. So, I mean, I think you just have to, because even in like when the only thing you can kind of completely be in control of is like what's on the record, you know what I mean, and what you're gonna play in your set. And I don't know what shoes you've got on, but I mean, like, it's not how long your hair is, no. but like even like being interviewed for a magazine or whatever can always get like
misconstrued,
span and like, you know, you kind of misquote and whatever. But I mean, I think there's no point like worrying about it really. It's more just like, well, concentrate on the thing you can control. Well, what was that? No, there's a cracker about that tune, My Propeller, on the new album.
Yeah.
Like that there's some sort of that it's some kind of, that's describing a mood, I assure you, not an organ. Everything's like, I was like, wow, really? And I was like looking at the lyrics thinking, what? Yeah, I don't know. but it's quite funny, I suppose. I mean, I always say this, but we've always enjoyed coming and playing, and like the size of the places that we play over here is like adequate. Last time was wonderful, but yeah, this was like twice as good, I think, this time, you know.
Yeah.
Just like felt comfortable, really enjoyed ourselves. Party time, you know. Yeah, no, I think that was when we were watching Elbow. I remember, yeah, it was like Garvey and me and you and like Richard Ashcroft were there, and he produced this loaf of Saurine out of his parka, and like really freaked me out. Like sent me west with this loaf of Saurine that he pulled out. But not to name drop, but I just like chucked 3, and yeah, wear a bit of that. Because, you know, I just think we were so new to it all, like when before, it was a bit mad probably that we got to headline it so soon. But, and we got the bad weather and all that, but like any of us had ever been, I think since then we've like probably been every year and like, you know, got to know it and understand what it is now a little bit more, I think. Like we played like 1,000 shows like in the last few years, and just, you can't just yeah. Yeah, well, that's it. No, we got actually Guy Garvey, yeah, the Duchess man in Manchester. He, we got him on board. He like wrote the string arrangement for like Cornerstone and Mardy Bum, so that's why they sounded like elbow tunes. You know, if you're wondering.